Hello everyone, my name is Peter. I will be leading this weights in motion class. This is a pre-recorded class. I would like to just say hi. Feel free to go along, take breaks whenever needed, or if you need to make any adjustments along the way, feel free to. Okay? To start off with, we're not going to be using the weights. Let's just start moving our body a little bit. Let's get those legs moving a little bit. So we're going to start with a little bit of fast feet. Okay, so moving those feet as quick as possible, tapping into the ground. I like to think that we're stomping out a bunch of ants as much as possible. If you need to go quicker, slower, whichever way works best for you. Okay. Good. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. All right. Starting off, still not using the weights. Let's get those legs a little bit more warmed up. Okay, we're just going to go with some simple step outs. So feet are starting together, and we're just going to step out to the side, keeping our knees bent, opening up our hips a little bit more and more. Constantly thinking to ourselves, I'm sitting up with really good posture. Okay, the only thing that should be moving is our legs. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, staying with our legs here, we're just going to go with some very simple, slow tempo kicks. So going nice and slow up, bringing it nice and slow back down. Trying our best to keep our knee in one specific spot and not having it go way high and having to use the momentum of our upper body. Once again, upper body should stay nice and stable, nice and upright. Good. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, arms down at our sides. You'll see us doing these a couple times just to help out our shoulders because there is a lot of upper body movements that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing some shoulder rolls. I want our shoulder rolls to start in front, down below, coming up nice and high, and then going backwards and right back down, okay? If we need to, we can bend our elbows to get a little bit more shoulder mobility. That's okay, as long as we're moving those shoulders as much as possible, okay? Challenging that range of motion and helping them recover as best as we can. 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. All right, so now we're going to start by using those weights. All right, so we're going to start with them into our chest, and we're just going to do some very simple reach outs. All right, so just moving those arms, okay? Trying to stay upright the entire time, having a really braced core. When we want to brace our core, I want us not to suck in our gut, but I want us to almost feel like we're pushing out a little bit. Good, constantly breathing, okay? Make sure when we push out, we're breathing out, and when we bring the weight back in, we're breathing in. So breathe out and breathe in. Breathe out and breathe in. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good. All right. Arms coming down to our sides. Okay. We're going to go with some simple bicep curls. Okay. So we're going to have our hands, so our thumbs are almost going to feel like we're touching our shoulders. Okay. And coming right back down. Our elbows should almost stay in one spot the whole time. Okay, staying like that. All right, and then instead of, I don't want us bringing our elbow straight up, trying to compensate for anything, okay? Just elbows down at our sides, specifically using our biceps. Once again, try not to use too much momentum. Don't want to see anybody leaning back to have to bicep curl, okay? Staying up nice and straight, and doing normal bicep curls. Good. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Great job. All right. Now we did 2 upper body exercises. Let's go to a little bit of lower body. Okay. This one we're going to challenge our hip flexors, so those muscles that are in the front part of our hips, and then also our thighs a little bit. Okay. So we're going to put those weights onto our knees, and we're going to go have our feet nice and flat. All right. We're just going to step our knee up and switch. Okay. These are kind of like a modified march. So our legs shouldn't be going crazy and we're having to bend over and get our knees super high. Okay, sit up nice and straight, getting those knees up nice and high. Good. Three, 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. So remember from our warm-up, we did our step outs. We're gonna do the same thing, but we're just gonna add a little bit of resistance, okay? So have a nice 90-degree angle for our legs, and we're just gonna keep our weights on our knees, and we're just gonna step out and back in, challenging those hips just a little bit more. Once again, keeping an upright spine, okay? Sitting up with really good posture. Say it a lot of times in this video, so be ready to bear with me. 3, 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. Okay, so we're done with a little bit of our lower body. We're going to go back to our upper body now. All right. Now we're just going to go with some simple lateral raises. I mean, whichever way you want your legs to sit. I like to have my feet underneath me a little bit more. Helps with my core to brace a little bit better so I can sit up with a really good posture, okay? So this one we're going to go lateral raises. So we don't want our arms to go straight up into the air. See how they're over the top of my shoulders? We're going to start nice and low and coming up to our sides, okay? Can have a little bend in our elbows. All right, and think about getting our knuckles up to the ceiling, and if we want a little bit more muscle activation, we're going to think about bringing our pinkies up to the ceiling, making a big old T with our body. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, so this next one, we're gonna go with our cross body reaches, okay? So with this one, I want us to think about having 2 countertops on the sides of us. And what we're gonna do with the weights is we're just gonna kind of go to one side, we're gonna tap the countertop, coming over back to the middle into our chest, and going across our body and tapping the other countertop, okay? Cross body tap, cross body, good. Good. If you need to go slower, need to go faster, that's okay too. You go at your own pace. Three, 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. All right. Now that we did a couple upper body exercises, let's go back to lower body. All right. Putting those weights onto our knees, okay, adding a little resistance. We're going to go with heel raises. So some people call them calf raises. I like to call them heel raises just because it's easier to think about it that way, okay? So toes stay onto the ground. Heels are just going to raise up. We're going to slowly bring them back to the ground, flat-footed, and raising those heels right up into the air. Good. So you saw me correct myself there, sitting up with really good posture. So I want you to try to do that. Always be wary of kind of where we're sitting and how we're sitting. Three, 2, and 1. Good. And relax. All right. Keeping those weights onto our knees. We're going to try to keep our knees nice and steady in one spot the whole time. We're going to go back to our kicks. Okay? So we're just going to go nice and slow, kicking up and right back down. Kick up, nice and slow, recovery back down to the floor. Once again, sitting up with good posture. Feeling those quads or those muscles in the front of the leg above the knee. Trying to really feeling those contract or work, okay? 2, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, putting our weights, we're gonna put these weights down. All right, put them off away. We're not gonna be using those. We're gonna help our core, we're gonna help our shoulders, and a little bit of our hips here as well, okay? So we're gonna go nice and wide with our stance, okay? Sitting nice and square into the chair, doesn't need to be super forward or super back. No need to be leaning back on this one. Once again, standing up nice and straight, sitting up nice and straight. We're gonna go over the top and get a nice bend in our core here, okay? All right. Think of ourselves as pretty pink ballerinas. If it's up to me, I know I'm a really big ballerina, but it's okay. Two, 1, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, you're gonna see this stretch a little bit more often while we're doing this video. Okay, we'll probably do it another time kind of at the end to help our lower body and also our shoulders. Okay, so staying in that really wide base, okay? We're gonna start forward. We are gonna bend forward, so down to our hands are reaching the floor. You see that my back is kind of a little bit arched. That's okay, we're trying to get as far down as we can, okay? We're gonna bring our hands into our body, sitting up nice and straight, and then we're gonna reach our hands up to the ceiling, okay? Everything back down, arms forward, and reaching down to the ground. Good, hold that stretch down, trying to reach the floor as much as we can. All right, have a nice little 3 count, 3, 2, 1. Arms come in to our chest, sitting up nice and straight, and pushing up into the ceiling, okay? Let's do that one more time. Straight out, coming down, holding, 3, 2, 1. Arms come up into our chest, and straight up into the ceiling. Good, and relax. All right. Now that we did a couple stretches, let's go back to grabbing those weights. All right. So this one, we're gonna challenge our brain a little bit more. So round 2 is gonna be a little bit harder, okay? So we're gonna utilize some of the movements that we used before into this round, all right? So remember our cross touches, we're gonna incorporate some outward stepping, okay? So when my left arm goes across to reach one of the counters, my left leg is gonna step out, okay? Back into the middle, and then the opposites, okay? If it seems like it's really hard to start off with, or even start, try to break them up, okay? So think about reaching with an arm, and then stepping out with that same leg, okay? Reach with an arm, step out with a leg, all right? Once we start feeling more confident, try doing them at the exact same time, okay? 2, 1, and 1. Good, all right. So now let's come into the front of our chair, all right? So kind of at the edge, I still want our butt to be on the chair, but we're a little bit farther forward, okay? So the weights are gonna come into our chest, and we're gonna lean back. So once again, I want us to overcompensate how really good our posture is, and we're just gonna lean back, we're gonna tap the back of the chair, and we're gonna come right back up, okay? See how my feet stay planted into the ground? Okay, that's what I want us to do as well. Try to grow some roots. The more we feel like we need to have our feet on the ground, the more we're gonna activate that core. Once again, over-exaggerating a really good posture with our sitting. Good. The slower we move, the harder it gets, and the more we're going to get out of it, all right? Good. 2 and 1. Very good. All right. So now we're gonna keep our hands instead of in our chest, we're gonna go a little bit lower than our chest, kind of in that part in between our belly and our chest, kind of right there. And then we're gonna have our elbows tucked into our sides. We're gonna open up like a nice big book. Okay. This is definitely for our rotator cuffs and helping out our shoulders as much as possible. Good. Once again, going at your own pace. Yes, you can go super fast with these like we think we're a butterfly, or we can go nice and slow, okay? Slower we are, the more we're going to challenge that range of motion, rather than the endurance of our muscles. Okay, 2 and 1. Okay, staying at the front of our chair, we are going to lean back, so we can't, this is the couple exercises that we can kind of sit down with bad posture, or what I call bad posture. Still, our back is going to kind of stay nice and straight, our butt's still on the chair, and we're just going to reach up into the air single arm. About trying to punch a hole right through the sky here. Using the top of the chest, and then also those front deltoids or the front muscles of the shoulder. Good. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Okay, let's make that harder. All right. All right, let's go. So we're going to add into our reach ups, we're going to go kicks, but we're going to go opposites. So you guys some people probably remember we do reach outs and kicks, but instead we're going to go reach up. So I reached up with my right arm, while my left leg is going to kick out, and everything comes back in. Reach up with the left arm, kick with the right. Good. Try to pause kind of in the middle of every single rep. Doing great. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good. And relax. All right. So now we're going to come right back up into our chairs. We're going to sink our butts back a little bit. Okay, I only say that because we are going to be leaning forward on these ones. So we're going to have a nice wide stance with our feet. Okay, really big chest. We're going to lean back down. Okay, we're going to hold those weights like we just finished up a bicep curl. And we're going to go tricep kickbacks. Okay, see how I get my arms nice and straight? Now once I get my arms straight, I'm going to push them up into the air a little bit more. It's adding a little bit more activation of our triceps. Keeping that momentum nice and slow. Yes, I know going fast makes it a little easier, but we're here to better ourselves and we don't need any easy way outs. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Standing, leaning forward, our arms and our shoulders are going to come down, okay? What I want us to think about is bringing our shoulders back and then bringing our elbows back, okay? This is our bent over row, okay? Try to push our elbows all the way up into the ceiling, okay? What we should feel is our shoulder blades pinching together at the top, okay? Trying to utilize that back as much as we possibly can. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now let's bring ourselves back up, All right, we're still gonna hold on to our weights here. These are gonna come down to our sides, sit up with really good posture, and now we're just gonna go with some shoulder rolls, okay? Remember, we're gonna shoulder roll backwards. Okay, remember, arms come forward low, up high, and around. And if we need to, we can have our elbows come with. Three, two, and one. Good. And relax. All right. Now let's have our dumbbells, and we're going to hold them in front of us, okay? We're going to work on our forearms a little bit here, okay? So they're going to be so our forearms are going to be onto our thighs here. Our hands are going to kind of reach over the top of our knees. This way we have a little more motion that's going on with our hands. All right? I want us to have a really straight back with these, okay? Not slouching over, but having a really good posture. And we're going to have our palms facing the floor, and we're just going to have our knuckles go down and then curl right up into the ceiling, okay? We're going to feel that on the top of our forearms, okay? Try to get as much range of motion or movement out of those wrists as possible, okay? So really forcing them down, and then forcing them all the way back up. Once again, keeping the tempo nice and slow, because we're going to get the most out of it when we go nice and slow out of these. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now let's flip our hands over the other way. All right, so our palms are facing the ceiling. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to feel it on the front side of our forearms here, okay? Once again, trying to get our knuckles down to the floor and right up to the ceiling, challenging that range of motion as much as we possibly can. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And relax. Now we're going to take one of those dumbbells. We're just going to put it onto the floor, okay? We'll still use it later. Just be ready. All right, we're going to have this one dumbbell, and we're going to hold it kind of right. See how I'm holding onto it? Kind of right onto the little bulges onto the side, okay? That's where we're going to hold this one, all right? So we're just going to we're going to go all the way across, and then all the way to the other side, okay? This is kind of just like us taking our arms and going across our body like we were before, but instead we're having both arms having to reach out, okay? Trying to over-exaggerate as much as possible with our rotations. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good, okay. Now that we just did a little bit side to side, now let's challenge it a little bit more. So we're gonna go cross body chops. So we're gonna start nice and low. So it's gonna start in one of our pockets. We're gonna go over the top of our chest and up over the opposite shoulder, okay? And chop. Our arms should relatively stay nice and straight the entire time. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And relax. Now let's go to that other side, okay? Make sure we constantly remember sitting up with a good posture, arms nice and straight, still holding on to that dumbbell, okay? Starting in the opposite pocket, coming over to the opposite side of our body above our head. If it's difficult for us to go over our head, we can always just go right across our tummy. Just make sure we start low and go a little bit higher. 3, 2, and 1. Good, and relax. All right, now we're gonna hold on to our single dumbbell. We're gonna hold it like we're holding on to a baseball bat, all right? So you're gonna kind of see how I'm holding it, all right? So one hand over the other, okay? Act like we're holding on to almost like a big stirring spoon, and we're gonna do our big stir the pots, okay? This is the one exercise where I'm gonna challenge our tempo of doing these. So we're gonna go nice and slow, all right? First, we're gonna do a nice nice posture, and now I really want us to get into it, okay? Having to make our bowl bigger and bigger, all right? All right, now let's go nice and quick here, okay? Everything's starting to curdle, so we gotta go even quicker and quicker. All right, back into the center. Now we're gonna go the opposite way. So if we went counterclockwise, now let's go clockwise and vice versa. Good. Now make it nice and big here. Still keeping the tempo relatively slower. Good, and now let's go nice and quick. Good, keep challenging yourself. Only a couple more minutes left, we got it. 3, 2, and 1. Good, and relax, all right. Now let's take that other dumbbell. We have a couple more exercises here, okay? Now let's start into our chest, all right? We're gonna go one arm forward, and then the opposite arm is gonna pull back. These are our archers, okay? Push forward, pull back. Push forward, pull back, okay? Act like we're holding onto a bow and arrow, and we have to pull it back every time. Constantly going back and forth. Should feel this in our shoulder and also our back. Three, 2, 1, and 1. Good. Putting our hands, or our dumbbells, onto our knees. We're going to finish off with the last resistance exercise right here. We're going to go into a little stretching afterwards. We're going to go into our fast feet. Okay? So think about pounding out those ants, cockroaches, ticks, whatever ant or whatever bug that you hate the most. You got millions of them on your floor. You just got to pound every single one of them out. Good. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Let's take those dumbbells. Let's put them off to the side. We're finished with those. Let's go into a little bit of stretching and a little bit of breathing, okay? All right, remember our first stretch that I said we'd do over again? We're gonna do that again. So we're gonna reach out. We're gonna bend down to the ground, touching the ground for a good 3-second count. 3, 2, 1. Arms coming right back up into our chest and all the way up to the ceiling. All right, going again. Arms forward, bending down to the ground. All right, touching the ground for a good 3 count. 3, 2, 1. Arms coming back up to our chest, up into the ceiling. All right, let's go one more just like that. Arms straight forward, down to the ground. Good, give us some time. And then 3, 2, 1. Arms coming up into our chest, up into the air, and then arms down and relaxed. All right, let's go into one breathing exercise here, okay? So we're gonna move our arms like we're doing a bicep curl. All right, we're gonna push our arms up, twisting our hands back down and pushing back down. As you can tell, when we come up, we're gonna breathe deep in, so in through the nose. Hold at the top, hands flip over, and then when we bring down, we're gonna breathe out. Breathe in through the nose, hold at the top, breathe out through the mouth. Couple more. One more here. Great work. All right. One more stretch each leg, all right? So we're gonna take one leg, we're gonna wrap our fingers around, and we're gonna grab that knee, pull it up to our chest so we can lean back a little bit, and we're gonna go with some ankle circles. 3, 2, 1. Let's flip legs and ankle circles one more time. Nothing crazy with this stretch, just helping out those ankles. We've been sitting down for a little while. Helping out those ankles, helping out those hips. Good, and relax. right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Once again, my name is Peter. This has been Weights in Motion. I hope you all had a great time. Hopefully you guys all worked up a little bit of sweat. We're not super tired, but we got those muscles moving as much as possible, okay? Until next time, I am Peter once again. Have a great day.